Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention today. I want to make it very clear that, and thank leadership in the House and in the Senate for working together over this weekend, both Republicans and Democrats in each respective legislative chamber. Today I want to make it very clear, starting off this press conference, that in the state of Oklahoma, the government is working, is functioning, and will continue to work and function for the people of the state of Oklahoma. Over the weekend, the decision was made to call for a joint caucus meetings of both majority and minorities for an update from the Department of Health on the most current situation in the state of Oklahoma regarding COVID-19 and what we might expect. As you can imagine, people in the state of Oklahoma are eager for information on this situation facing our state that other states have already dealing with. We want to thank the health officials for responding to that call. We had very positive presentations today, and the legislature feels like it is in a good position to communicate with their individual constituencies on this case. We will continue to listen to those health organizations. Based upon information received from health organizations, we are in agreement that beginning today that we will restrict and limit access to the state capitol, following what other states have done in order to try to play our part in stopping the spread of COVID-19. We are limiting access going forward to elected officials, essential Capitol staff, credentialed press members, and state employees that are invited to essential meetings that may work outside of this building. This decision is to help the public health of the members that serve here and represent the state of Oklahoma, as well as the public. It's very important for us, the conversations that we're having today, we'll continue to have over the next few days. We both chambers plan to be in session again tomorrow. This week is spring break week for our children, our students throughout the state. We had previously planned only to work on Monday and Tuesday, but we are taking actions to deploy contingencies regarding anything that may face our state and the legislature. We are committed to finishing this constitutional session and fulfilling our constitutional duties to the people of the state of Oklahoma. What this means effectively and immediately, we'll be suspending tours, field trips, receptions, rallies, and visits to the Capitol at this time. I do want to note that we are looking at this on a day-to-day basis. It's not necessarily a suspension in perpetuity or indefinitely by the House's position. We are limiting, we will continue to stream all activities of the House, and all activities of the House legislature, I believe, are planned will be archived and accessed to the public remotely. Our page programs will be suspended after this week, and we will continue to stay in very close communication with one another. Once again, we are just looking at measures that continue to keep the legislature in a functional situation regarding what might arise unconventional, in this unconventional situation. So with that, having said that, I'd like to recognize my counterpart and colleague of the Senate, Senator and President Pro Tem of the Oklahoma Senate, Senator Greg Treat, to make a few comments. Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you to Leader Floyd and Leader Virgin for being here as well and working with us as we take this issue very seriously at the Oklahoma State Capitol. Effective immediately in the Oklahoma State Senate, as the Speaker spoke to, we are suspending the page program on a moving forward basis. We have 10 pages this week, but we will suspend those on a going forward basis. We will no longer allow outside groups to have meetings in the Senate space until further notice, and we are limiting access in the gallery to members of the press until further notice. We want to make sure we do our part in keeping Oklahomans safe and healthy. After we depart from the Capitol, we go to all corners and all areas of the state, and we want to make sure that we contribute to keeping Oklahoma safe and healthy and trying to flatten that curve. We are absolutely committed to it. I want to thank the Speaker for his continued communication over the weekend. I think we talked more this weekend than we have in a while. The Governor, Superintendent Hoffmeister, other leaders of the state, in constant communication over the week. We do not take these decisions lightly. We are not in a panic, but we are taking this serious to try to make sure that we protect our staff, our members, and the public of Oklahoma. Thank you so much, and I'm going to turn it over to Leader Virgin for some comments.
Good afternoon. I want to talk a little bit about what the House specifically did today in terms of protecting ourselves and protecting the rest of the people who are going to be frequenting the building. As many of you saw, we adopted a new House rule that will allow voting by proxy. And I want to commend Leader Eccles and his staff and the House parliamentarian for making sure that we could get that done today. What that means is that on an emergency basis, we would be able to send just a few people to the House floor in order to vote on very important measures. That would include the state budget, which is our only constitutional duty as a legislature. We feel that it's very important that we did this in a bipartisan manner, specifically because we feel that it is incumbent upon this body to set a good example for the general public. We're talking every day about social distancing and staying home, and especially if you have symptoms, and that should apply to our body as well. So we felt that this was very important to set a good example, and so I want the public to know that we are taking those recommendations that we're giving to the public, we're taking those recommendations very seriously. Further, I think we want the public to know that we are in constant communication with the State Department of Health, with the governor's office, and with each other in terms of what we will do going forward as a legislature. As the Speaker said, it's important that we stay functioning as a government, that the public still have access to what we are doing through our live streaming capabilities, but that we limit what actually takes place physically inside the Capitol building to make sure that we are, as Senator Treat said, doing our part to flatten the curve. So I'd like to thank the legislative leaders assembled here for making this a bipartisan issue, making it a nonpartisan issue, and making sure that we're communicating and staying in touch and protecting the public as much as possible. Leader Floyd?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I echo the sentiments of what my colleagues have said. You see right now that this is, in fact, a public health issue. None of us look at this as a partisan or nonpartisan issue. This is public health, and we're all deeply, deeply concerned about that. Senate Pro Tem Treat has laid out some actions that the Senate has already taken, and we will continue to be deliberative about those actions, making them based on information that we get from the healthcare authority, healthcare experts in the state. So I feel confident with this moving forward. I feel like that we will work together quite well, and we are going to stay and we are going to do our job.
I just want to echo what's already been said. I want to thank especially Leader Virgin. We had a historic bipartisan caucus in the House. I believe the Senate had the same thing since I have been in the legislature. We've never had anything like that. I'll say something I said on a text string with the Democrat leaders and the Republican leaders. I've always been proud to stand with the pro tem and the speaker, but this week I was really proud to stand in Oklahoma House leadership that wasn't just the Republican House, but with Leader Virgin, with Chairwoman Munson. What we did today is very unprecedented in the House, moving forward with the proxy voting system. I want to explain we did that to be a good example. Because we are a large body, as of 101 members, we have issues that the Senate as a smaller body doesn't have to deal with, and that's why we move forward with that. I mean, there's a chance that there could be recommendations at some time in the future that 101 member bodies not meet. So that's why we move forward with that in a bipartisan way. We also, to set a good example, have agreed with the Senate, and we will be passing bills that allow both chambers to adjourn to a call of the chair, meaning it allows both chambers to adjourn. We're giving both chambers permission to adjourn not to a date certain. Again, wanting to be good examples, wanting to give the opportunity that we are doing our part. We're not just telling our citizens to social distance and to take proper steps, but the legislature is doing those things and working very well together, and that's why we did those things.